body bags were whore lies.
Who is this irresistible creature who has an insatiable love for the dead?
Hey guys, happy Thursday, this is your fright chick speaking. Okay, so I'm pretty sick, ill, however you want to say it. Poorly, I'm a poorly fright chick. But I've got to do a review anyway, just for you lovely people. So this week I am doing Ring, or The Ring, as it is known in America. It's Technological Horror Week, and I'm not going to lie, the ones I wanted to pick, they weren't really classed technological, they're more possession of something, blah blah blah, but I guess technically you could say this is a possession movie, but it's all done through a VHS tape. That's still technological, right? It is in my eyes today. Okay, so The Ring came out in 2002, starring Naomi Watts, and it was based off a 1998 Japanese movie. What movie out there isn't these days? But they are so very good. Now, I believe the Japanese one was also based on a book called Ring, so it's kind of come full circle. So yeah, The Ring. Pretty basic plot, but I must admit, I think one of the things that makes this film so memorable or highly praised is it had a pretty awesome opening. Like the first 10 minutes of the movie, I think a lot of people, their first memory of Ring will go back to the opening. So it opens with a couple of friends, I believe their names are Becca and Katie, and they're talking about girl stuff, you know, they're having sort of a mini sleepover, and then one of them talks about this mysterious videotape that supposedly when you watch it, you get a phone call and it says you're going to die exactly 7 days later. Now they're joking around, but then the friend quickly realises that the other friend has actually watched this tape, and tonight is the 7th night. She dies grotesquely. I can't give it away. I can't even describe the grotesqueness that this girl is found in. It's horrifying. I remember being so horrified. How old was I in 2002? I was like, I don't know, I was like 18 or something, and it scared the shit out of me. So yeah, we go right into the movie from there. Naomi Watts, she's a single mother, her young son Aiden, who, to be honest, is just as terrifying. That kid is really messed up in this movie. He's like 10, and he talks like a 50-year-old man from the 40s. It's awful. Yeah, she is a reporter, or at least journalist at a local newspaper, and she comes across the story of The Ring. One of the young girls at the beginning of the movie happens to be, I'm pretty sure it's her niece. Yeah, it's her niece. And obviously she's pretty cut up about this death. She obviously investigates what was going on around the time of this unnatural death, and she comes across the story of the tape of The Ring. And it's basically a tape of a young girl. We do get to see it in the movie. And the young girl that plays Samara, who is the entity of the tape, you might remember her from being Donnie Darko's little sister. Yeah, and coincidentally, I actually just bought the Beethoven Pooch pack, and she's in that too. So yeah, the whole movie is pretty much one of those investigative journey type movies. We follow Rachel and her son on a quest to discover what the tape is, what it shows, and then how to prevent and stop the entity that is inhabiting this tape from being shown to more people. I wasn't very satisfied with the ending of this, and I have seen Ringu, so it does follow. It follows almost exactly the same lines. I wasn't very impressed with the ending. There were quite some good bits in this, I must admit. Obviously, the girl coming out of the TV when the tape is played, that's pretty hardcore. It is a good scene. Each time she does it, to be honest, I think she does it. She does it at least once. Sorry, I'm ill. I don't know what I'm talking about. And Naomi Watts' acting in this is very good. The kid put me off because the kid's acting, like I said, is very mature, and I know he's meant to be a kind of foreboding and, you know, one of those kids that knows more than they know, but it's really off-putting watching this 10-year-old act like a grandfather. I don't like it. So I highly recommend picking this up if you haven't seen it. If you haven't seen it, you've probably seen clips of it, and they will have been the good clips. But I must admit, the whole movie from start to finish is good. It's a good journey. It's quite terrifying at times. She is trying to find the background of this young girl who inhabits the tape, why she does it, and what all the images on the tape mean. Now, if you just want a bit of a laugh and you're not too worried about watching, you know, the hardcore version here, I suggest watching Scary Movie 3, because their main central plotline relies heavily on the Ring storyline, and they really did a good job of taking the piss out of some of the iconic moments. So if you just want to laugh, watch Scary Movie 3 and you will have seen The Ring. They did make a sequel in 2005. Now, I have seen it, but because it's so close to the first one, it's like hard to pick apart in my head. It's kind of like the Saw movies. It's hard for me to differentiate which ones are which, because they're all very similar. The plot of the second one is pretty... It's not the same as the first one, but it's the same thing. They go on a journey to then, you know, discover and prevent. And there's no wonder why it didn't make as much money. But this thing made over $200 million more than the budget, people. I mean, people must have flocked to see this. I got this DVD for, I believe it was like £1.37 or so. It was something really odd numbered. It was £1.37 in my head. Might be 47. Yeah, that's how much I paid for this. It's definitely worth more than that. I wouldn't pay more than $5 for this, Americans and Canadians out there. And if you're English, £3 at the most. So yeah, if you are a fan of the movie, then good for you, because it's a good film. But if you're a bit sceptical about watching it, you watch it for the effects and for the basic storyline, because the ending is dissatisfying and the reasonings behind everything aren't much of a payoff. But that's pretty much all I'm going to say on it. I've got a feeling it's one of those films, because it was based on a Japanese one. They did try and make big franchises about it. I've got a feeling it's one of the things that opens up a big can of worms when you slack it off. But sorry, that's just how I feel about it. Okay, so I'll see you next week, and hopefully I will sound a lot better. But bye.